everyone, including our special guest, Dr. Andrew, who's S-Treasury's mentor. Today we have two very special students who graduated and have invested their time to create a platform or a project that educates the market about the stock market in Qatar. They've identified a few issues, barriers of entry, and it's a very big breakthrough for the investments in Qatar and the stock market, since they've identified issues like people having barriers of not understanding the market, or even having barriers of finding a way to set up an account. And it's very nice to see CMU alumni who have invested their time to find all of these issues and created a platform that's called S-Treasury. And these two students are Fatma and Huda. One of them, I believe, graduated in biological science and business administration. And today they will be presenting their idea and telling us more about how they invested their time to find these problems and barriers of entry, and how they developed an app and website to help overcome all of these barriers. So I'll pass on the floor to Fatma.
Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum to everyone. We hope that this year ending has been treating you well. We are here from S-Treasury. So before we really start on, we would like to give you a quick introduction about us. So as you can see, this is me. This is here is Huda, and this is Juria. We are actually all sisters. We are very close in age, and we are all, actually we have graduated. Huda Javeria is almost graduating next semester, and I am a graduate from Carnegie Mellon University. Okay, I'm a graduate from Carnegie Mellon University of Biological Sciences. Huda has studied business administration, and Javeria is doing petroleum engineering with a background in economics. So we have for a very long time wanted to start up our own business, but for us it's been like a long-term dream, not something that would happen immediately after we graduated. But then what really happened is like a chance. That's why kind of our title said chance. This coincidence is happening, the arrival of the pandemic, and we are staying at home. We have a lot more time to think on our life and what we want to do. Plus, just before the pandemic, Qatar had changed the laws for ownership, so now there was 100% foreign ownership possible. And finally, we had like a chance meeting with Injas Qatar's representative. Injas Qatar's representative actually emailed a lot of people. They emailed everyone in CMU, but it was an opportune moment when Huda decided to get back to them, and then found out about their company program where it was for potential entrepreneurs. And so that is how kind of we started our journey. So here's our journey. We started by participating in the Injas Qatar company program. By the end, we had won the most innovative service product award. However, though we had won this award, it was no assurance for us that we would have that chance to set up our own company. The Injas team told us that we'll have to wait some time before someone would reach out to us for incubation programs. Kind of, we were not satisfied with waiting, so we reached out to QFC actually. And when we reached out to QFC by submitting an application, very soon we kind of got an answer that on our own it would be hard for us to set up our own business, that maybe we should look into incubation programs ourselves. And one suggestion was the Qatar Fintech Hub. So here it is. We applied to the Qatar Fintech Hub and we got in. And now, because of the help of the Qatar Fintech Hub, QDB, and everyone all there, all the mentors, we are here as a setup S-Treasury, and now here we are presenting in front of you. Okay, the question then is, what is the problem that we are really dealing with? So Qatar is ranked as the 29th in the world for market capitalization according to the World Bank's publishing last year. But despite this huge, stock surge, it's very hard. Like, their participation in the stock market by the population here in Qatar is very low comparatively, especially when we consider foreign participation. So then what are the problems that they are facing? One is that there is a lack of knowledge of the trading process itself. People do not know how to actually go ahead and trade and what even trading involves. So that's one thing. Then the second problem is about the registration process. People kind of get confused about the registration process. So I have to go to the bank. I have to go to Qatar Security Deposit Center. Okay, what's the whole process? Yes, it's been explained, but when you're someone who has never entered the stock market, never done anything, it's hard for them. This is what we heard as anecdotal evidence. So what we decided to do is actually confirm that this is what we are hearing is true. So what we did, we carried out customer validation research, and we found out that 75% of the individuals living in Qatar were interested in actually investing. When we could explain to them what investing kind of meant in very basic terms, they were interested. But then why? Why were they not investing? So this is actually the number. 67% of the people actually surveyed did not understand the Qatari trade account registration process and did not have the right amount of knowledge to trust in themselves that they would not make a lot of losses on the stock market. Finally, when we told them what our purpose would be, when our purpose of the business would be, 80% said that they would be interested in utilizing our app. So then what exactly is our solution? What we are proposing is this, that S-Treasury is an e-platform designed to provide customized and guided education for this participation, responsible participation, I would like to highlight, in the Qatari stock market. Then you cannot really end at just teaching the people, because these are potential investors. You want them to continue being investors. So we are going to offer them a market watch dashboard where all the information that's publicly available about the Qatar stock market, the companies listed there, it's organized and collated in such a way that it is user-friendly and easily accessible. Let's take it over. I'll pass on to my colleague here.
So our mission is to be the convenient one-stop shop for investing, customized to the Qatari stock market. And our vision is to become the user gateway for access to the Qatari stock market and thus a crucial contributor to the growth of the stock market. Okay, now I'll be showing you our demo. Okay, start. So after the user installs our application, they'll have to create an account. So after they create an account, we will try to test their knowledge to see how far they are and how much do they know about investing. And then these are our services. As you can see, we will be having a base service, which are all the courses. And then these courses would be, classified in different modules. We'll be also testing them. So there's the Check Your Understanding case study quiz. And then there's the other two add-on services, which is call center. So you can talk to the expert and ask any questions. And then there's the last service, which is follow an experienced investor. As you can see, we would be providing a very descriptive information about the investor, and then their performance, the stocks they're trading, and everything all about them, to make it a very convenient platform. Also, we are yet to integrate our dashboard into our application. So this is just the prototype for the financial literacy tool. Oh yeah, there's one more video.
One more video?
So where's the video that I had opened earlier? The one that was downloading. There was one video. There was one video that was downloading. Yeah, I think it's downloaded.
Yeah? Where is it?
Here. Now we'll be showing you a promotional video of S-Treasury. Okay, can you... There's no volume. Can you all hear? Can you hear?
No, the volume's only from the laptop.
Okay. I mean, maybe. Okay. Can we get the?
Okay.
How do we? Just take it to the laptop. It's not a promotional video. It's true, right? This is a promotional video. But this is a video about how the modules will look. How the modules will.
So this is how our modules will be going on.
Or even a side hustle.
Can they hear? So as part of our mission to become the one-stop shop for investors, we will also be having a stock market dashboard. And as you can see, the dashboard here provides the last price, the previous day prices. So it's not just like a market watch, but it is more than that, because it is comparing all the stocks. So as you can see, there's CBQ, Vodafone, and all the different stocks, and you can compare them not just based on their prices, but then, for instance, you can compare them based on the maximum price and the minimum price. And by this, you can understand the rate of change. An investor can understand, okay, the previous year the price was this much, and then now this year it's this much. And then that's not just the only feature. We'll also be having a graph, and then this graph would be like each graph for each company. So for instance, the CBQ graph shows the highest price, the high price, and the low price. It also shows the number of trades and the traded volume. And finally, it also shows the recommendations. So for instance, if I go to this dashboard and I look at it, I can see, okay, so analysts recommend that I should buy commercial banks shares. So I might buy it. And then finally, we will also be showing the top 3 highest and lowest performing stocks. And not just that, so if I want to click to know more about CBQ, for instance, I go to this, and then here you can see the whole commercial bank summary with more additional data. So for instance, you can see debt to equity ratio, a ratio that's really important for understanding, if I should really invest in commercial bank or not. So for instance, if I want to invest in commercial bank, I'll be looking at the debt to equity ratio to know like if commercial bank is in a lot of debt or not. And then these are all the other ratios also included. And we will also have their graph, so it would be a larger presentation. As you can see, this is the 5 years data. And then next we can also do comparison. So for instance, if I click on the comparison tool, I can compare CBQ with QNB. And finally, we would be also showing the latest news of the bank. So this information is very organized to each stocks. And then moving on, as we as we showed to customers our promotional video, and we showed them our prototype, and we explained to them what our product is all about. These are some of the real life testimonials we received. I'll give you 10 seconds to go through it. And then we've also, so 2 well-known Qatari banks have also expressed their interest in us. And now moving on, I'll be passing to my partner.
So what's our business model? We are actually initially starting with a B2B2C business model, because we believe that it can give us easier access to consumers and with a constant revenue stream that is reliable. We will be partnering with institutions such as banks and educational institutions, actually, such as universities and schools. But then over time, we will slowly move on to the B2C model, if possible, to target underrepresented participants in the market. Then the question can be like, who is the audience? Really, the audience here are potential investors, non-sophisticated investors, and even sophisticated investors, because we are trying to be this one-stop shop. That's our mission. So we have tools to teach you how to start investing, but then if you already know how to invest, here is this market dashboard where you can start using, relying on it to make your investing decisions. We have 2 main revenue streams. One is from individual subscription packages, and then secondly from licensing our application to institutions such as banks and Qatar Stock Exchange, because these are the places where we already have customers, their registered shareholders who can start using our tools. So this is just to give you a quick example of what pricing packages could look for someone who is directly buying our services. So you have like different packages with free courses, follow-on experienced investors. What we decided to do is combine our different services in various packages with various pricings. But then if you're actually a business and you're coming to us and saying that we want to take on your services for our customers, we have a membership for enterprise packaging, which we'll basically negotiate the pricing for. We're not just directly showing here because it depends on the number of customers they're going to offer us. Okay, we have been telling you all of this, and you might think that, I mean, some of this, actually, maybe most of this information already exists. Then what's the question of us doing it here? So the first possible, we see them as a partner, but someone might say, oh, that's a competitor for you. So, Qatar Stock Exchange. Qatar Stock Exchange has this, small page on their website for the stock telling you, more information about how to invest in the stock exchange. But kind of this information, if you see, this is really the information there, and it's kind of hard to read and digest. They also do webinars, but these are really long webinars. What, as a potential investor, I'm looking for, and what we have got feedback for, is that we are looking for bite-sized chunked videos, where I can learn more and then, have the time to think about it and then go on to the next moment and start continuing on my education. What we'll also be using as a technique that will keep us separate, will make us unique, is a technique called test enhanced learning and keeping of knowledge retention. So basically, after every kind of video we show, such as the video we showed you previously, we will have an interactive, question and answer session, customized study where you can, we'll be giving you like problems very much based on Qatar, based on Qatar's people, and then you can actually answer and test your own learning. You don't have to go ahead and start investing if you don't have the confidence in yourself that yes, I am on the right path and I can believe that I will I will benefit from investing in the Qatari stock market. So that's one thing. The other thing is that the Qatar stock market also has this app here. This is more for the market watch. So this is almost like a competition for our dashboard service. But then if you see here, the app is designed in such a way that it is hard to kind of navigate, and all the other all the ratios, the deeper information that is required so that you can very quickly make decisions, that's not presented in such a format that it is user friendly, convenient, and quick to make investing decisions. It's very similar for QNB. Here's the app, and these are a few screenshots we got here from the QNB Financial Services app. And similar thing for the group. Why we chose to show the group and QNB is because these are the two top brokerages in the market with the highest trading share volume. Yeah, go ahead and quickly take it. Yeah, I'll just pass it on.
Okay, so these are our future objectives. Our first future objective would be to expand all across the Gulf region, and then our second future objective would be to have more than 2 languages, because initially we'll be starting with English and Arabic. And then finally, we are also planning to we might consider becoming a brokerage ourselves. Okay, so the impact for Qatar. Our mission can also be seen through the Qatar National Vision 2030. This is because we are focusing on motivating and teaching individuals on how to invest, thereby helping the human development, contributing towards the human development and the economic development. Okay, and then these are our mentors. We would also like to appreciate them for all the help they have been with us from the beginning of the journey. Okay, so now we will be playing.
We have some activities
planned. Okay, sure. Would you be doing the?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to pick 2 people. Two volunteers. Okay, you and okay. It's fine. You guys can sit.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Unless you want to come over here, we don't mind.
Whatever you prefer.
Come on, okay.
Okay. Yes, it's fine. You can stand here.
Sure. We can stand next to you.
Okay, sure.
Zero experience in the Qatari stock market, so that's good.
No worries. So, first question for you. So as people with no experience, do you know these companies? I'll just go over them. The first one is Commercial Bank, then the other one is Karama, then the other one is Manai Corporation. This one is
QIB.
this is QIB, and the last one is just which one?
I don't know. You think
Just a second. I think it's this one. Yeah, Qatar Islamic Insurance Bank. Okay. Let me just view it. Okay. So, which company would you pick? Like anyone.
Based on what criteria? What is the idea? What's the objective?
So, which one interests you the most? For instance, there are two banks, there are two insurance groups, and then one is the electricity and water.
Okay, I'll pick commercial bank.
Okay, you're picking commercial bank. And which one would you pick?
I'll pick utilities, so Kahrama.
Karma. Okay. So,
Imagine you have 5,000.
okay, so now imagine that you invest in commercial bank. That means you're investing 1,000 shares in commercial bank at the beginning, at the end of 2020. And the price here is 4.5, somewhere between 4 and 4.5. And then by the end of this year, the price would be around 6 to 6.5. So here, when you do the calculations, you realize that you're making a 53.44% increase. And here, for electricity and water, the we'll see about that. So at the beginning, you invest at 18.5 around, and then by the end, by 2021 end, you realize that the price has dropped. So let's see how much you would make. Well, you'll be making a negative 8.4% loss. So this is just an activity to show you, that there can be risks also involved, and of course, there are profits as well involved. So as you can see, because you were investing in commercial bank, you made a lot of profit just by investing, by buying 1,000 shares. And with that, let me just skip to the end.
No dividends?
So dividends is of course included, but we were just calculating the prices. And with that, we would like to draw the curtains with this quote by Sheikh Hamoza. So I believe that education is the antidote for all our social pandemics, such as intolerance, inequality, you name it. If we understand the capability of education, I think we can achieve a lot. Thank you.
Amazing presentation, ladies. Well done. So one question that triggers me. When you started to develop this, did you also start investing in the stock exchange yourself?
Yes, yes.
How have you done?
So we just started initially, so we can.
Now I can hear you.
I'll answer this question. So when we, can you move? No. So really when we started is when we kind of came to know about the problems. Then we went around asking family and friends how was this going on for them, were they actually investing, and we heard from a few people that no, there were issues with them. They started the registration process, then left it in the middle because they were struggling with getting the right bank statement, going to the Qatar's security deposit center. So we said, okay, this is a problem, but then we wanted to kind of continue on. So we are really, it's been maybe a 2 month, 3 months since we actually started investing, but we can't say much about how well we are doing.
Okay.
Any other questions, please? Go ahead.
Yeah, so how do you invest as an intern, like as an expat? How do you invest in the Qatari stock market?
Okay, I mean, if you're asking for the process, mainly you have to get a NIN number. This is the main identity for you to be a participant in the stock market. So you have to have something like your bank statement, your ID card, your passport. But it's comparatively very easy for expat to actually become a participant in the stock market. the difficulty really is, going through the process. The requirements are easier to understand and are very easily listed on the Qatar stock market and other brokerages also. So if you're looking for the requirements, as I said, the ID, the passport, and your bank statements, and then you need to get approvals from the Qatar Securities Deposit Center. Once you get that approval, then you take that approval to any of the brokerages and you get your NIN number, and now you're ready to start on the Qatar stock market.
Yeah, and then you can just create your trading account, and with the trading account you can start trading. You can go to any of the brokerages, and it's just like simple. You download the application and you can start buying the stocks.
So when do you plan to integrate all those things into your app? And at that point, you'll move from an educational app to a brokerage app.
So right now we are hoping that initially we start with the financial literacy and then have the market watch with the dashboard and everything on. It's going to take us some time to actually become a trading platform, because we have to first go through regulatory steps, which we are not yet aware of. But this is like a future plan for us that one day we will become an electronic trading platform. Go ahead, please.
Can you maybe explain what's the benefit to banks if they license your software? Why would a bank want to license your software?
Thank you. Very good question. So why would a bank want to license? Let me take the example of QNB. So QNB is actually a brokerage also. So they have normal customers who use their banking services, but then compared to the number of people, individuals who are using their banking services, it's a very tiny population that are using their financial services. So our software can be a customer acquisition value-added customer acquisition tool for banks to offer to their customers who are using their normal banking services. Once these people start learning about the Qatar stock investment and how to actually invest, what they can do is then they can directly go on to the brokerage website for QNB, and they can start investing there. So the brokerage actually gets commission for each kind of transaction that happens on their platform, right? So if that is happening, then their revenue is also growing. So we are helping them get more customers and increasing their revenue.
I think that's an excellent idea, and you should ask the banks to pay a lot to you, because you have already explained better to me than any QNB employee. I went twice to QNB. I got completely confused, and they were confused as well. And I still don't have a name. I gave up. But now it becomes clear. So I think even their staff can use your app.
Thank you.
Get trained in what it is.
That is what we thought, that if we are actually targeting, we didn't think of the banks because we were making the assumption that at least the banks would know how to do it. No, okay, good. But for other companies in the market, why would GWC want to take our financial literacy app? Because it's helping their employees. It's an education tool. It's professional development, and then at the end of the day, they were helping Qatar diversify its economy. So please go ahead. Any other questions? Sure.
So thank you, S-Treasury, for coming. I think it's such a great move. Such young students who just graduated to come follow their dreams and have a company that they work for full time. And I think this is what the Qatari stock market needs, a bit of more liquidity, and this is what it lacks. And thank you for addressing all of these obstacles. So thank you all for attending, and this is the end of our Tech Talk. Thank you, everyone.